Climbers, today we're going to take off our artist hats, close our eyes, and remember what it's like to be a music fan. Why? Because this is going to reveal the biggest secret to growing your audience.
Do it.
Welcome to the climb! This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. You want to be on top with the leverage. You don't want your hat in your hand. It's not a desirable position, and lucky for you, the game got a little harder because you got to do it yourself, but that's the only way you're going to move forward now is with leverage. That's why we created this show, to teach you how to create that leverage for yourself and work with the people you want to work with. Why? Because we want you to win. That's why we called it the C.L.I.M.B, C.L.I.M.B, creating leverage in the music business. Do you love that? Do you see that? That's a lyricist at work right there. That's a Baxter name, my good friend and co-host and saint among men, God among men. Mr. Brent Baxter is an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Lady A, Joe Nichols, Randy Travis, Alan Jackson. I'm sorry, it's been a while. Talk about reps, right? I'm out of
I know,
practice.
we're rusty.
He's got number ones in Southern Gospel, top tens in Australia, top tens on Texas radio. Man, the man is everywhere, but you don't care about that. What do you care about? How's he going to help you? He helps songwriters like you turn pro, which is what you want to do. Make money doing what you're born to do by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and on the regular, he connects you with the pros that can help advance your career. That's what it's about. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. It's complicated, but he's read all the books and done all the homework, and he knows what's up. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists like Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That's production, singular, no S, and there's no S because there is no other. Johnny D.
What's happening, brother?
Welcome back. Thank you. It's good to be back. It's foggy, and it's that's just my brain. It's not the weather. It's hot here. But yeah, so we just got back. Actually, I got back from Lithuania about a week and a half ago, maybe. Now I came back early. I came back after 2 weeks to help with the kids while Emily and the new baby, little baby Daisy, stayed and got done with the rest of the immigration stuff. So I came back early, and then Emily's back now with Daisy. And so now we are adjusting to life with 6 kids.
Most people go to Europe and come back with liquor bottles that they try to hide through duty.
Or maybe a conception.
Yeah. Or maybe, but you come back with kids. Like you keep going overseas and come back with kids.
Yeah.
Listen, stop traveling, and you can curb the kid thing. I think I'm just,
Yeah, go to China, come back with kids.
How many more rooms you got in the Baxter household?
We're doubling up, man. It's a battleship. This ain't a cruise ship. So
that's a cruise ship. The Baxter cruise ship.
It ain't a cruise ship. It's a battleship. We got them in bunks.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So anyway, so we're trying to catch up on. Thank you.
You're a good man. You and Emily are good, and I know you guys are trying to settle in and everything. You're exhausted. So today we are going to talk about the biggest. People forget how people consume music, like how you experience music, like what it's like to be a fan.
Yeah.
And I think if we go back and we just go back to, and every single artist and every single songwriter, I know this for certain, every single listener of this podcast started as a fan. Just being blown away. Something blew your skirt up and you're like, this is the coolest. This is so cool to me.
Yeah.
I might want to do this for a living. You know what I mean? And it starts being a fan. So we're going to go back to the root on today's show. And it's really, I think my hope is this going to change your mind or reframe the way that you're looking at your marketing and promotion. That's going to help you connect with your fans by remembering what it's like to be a fan. That's the whole idea here. Okay.
Cool.
So before we do that, let's take care of some business. Join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. Go to Facebook groups and just search for the C.L.I.M B community, or facebook.com/groups/the C.L.I.M B community. You have to ask to be let in. We let everybody in unless you look like you're trying to sell us something. This is not a place to sell anything. It's a place to add value and to get support, to get feedback, to get answers, to create co-writes, to create collaborations. This is a very active community. Brent and I, we're very proud of it. We protect it at all costs. We run people out who are just there to sell stuff. But man, we want to hear everything. If you've got stuff for the whole community, right? Whether it's funny, musical, like business, headlines, whatever that you want to share that's on your mind, you got a question, put it right in the feed, and you're going to get some answers, pretty quickly from amazing people. I mean, just the other day, my boy Randy Barber looking for some songs for one of his artists. I put that in the feed. He's like, I got a whole boatload of emails. This is great,
Awesome.
and keep them coming. So, there's opportunities in there galore, but we want you to brag on yourself too in the right place, right? In the right place. So, man, your new music comes out, put it every Monday. We've got New Music Monday post. Put your new music as a comment in there. People are going to support you on that, give you that attaboy, that attagirl. We want to hear about your gigs. It's Gig Alert on Thursday, every Thursday. Put as a comment in there, let us know where you're playing. And what we like to celebrate on the podcast is the Wednesday wins on the New Heights post every Wednesday. Tell us your wins. Tell us what's going on. And we love that so much. We shared on the pod. Brent, whose wins we got today?
Yes. So we do celebrate the wins here on the New Heights post. So thank you for sharing yours. Climber Will Gunnell says, had a demo sent to NSAI through a co-writer. The only quote unquote negative thing they said is it was too long, 3:30ish, which boy, doesn't that tell you how times have changed?
Is that too long now?
It can be a little long. I get real nervous when I hit 3:30. But he said, easy fix, not a bad critique. My allergies have eased up, so maybe I can get some music done. A new song on select Trop radio, writing new music, rewriting others. Life is busy but good. And of course, he's getting some attaboys on that. So
good job,
from Will,
Yep.
or from Brad and Emily, among others. And we got Climber June Biancalana says, my song Superhero Girl has surpassed 27,000 streams. Also, it is also the outro song for Women and Wine OTAT 24/7 indie radio. So of course she gets some attagirls, and we have some other wins in there. So
brilliant.
Yes, congrats to Will and June, and keep on climbing.
Brilliant. I love it, man. All right, so let's dive in.
Yes.
Here's what I want you to do right now. I want everybody to just stop thinking about yourself as an artist right now. I want you to go back when you were younger. And I'm going to give you a specific time. So some of you, this is before your time, but imagine being a Motley Crue fan in 1987. Okay. Imagine going to see Motley Crue live because you're a Motley Crue fan. I want to close your eyes. Just close your eyes and imagine this, right? This is the band you love to see. They're all over the radio, Motley Crue. They're all over MTV, Motley Crue. It's the Girls tour, and you're going to go see them. Okay. And who's opening up? Guns N' Roses is the name of the band, right?
Who?
Guns N' Roses, exactly. Who? You don't know who they are yet, because this is right when they came out in 1987. Okay? So you're going to experience them for the first time live. And like I said, except you don't know who they are yet. Yes, they were, they're on tour with Motley Crue, but they were not on the radio. And they were not on MTV at this point. So they were not, quote unquote, Guns N' Roses that you know now. They weren't that brand name. So odds are you didn't know who they were. Okay. So you go to the show, you see them for the first time, like that first tour, that Appetite for Destruction tour. That was a great tour. And, if you were a musician or an aspiring artist at this point, you probably maybe purchased the record after seeing them because you're like, oh, I get it. Like, this is great. I want to go hear how this sounds recorded, because you don't have any other way to know about that is they're
Yeah.
not on the radio, they're not on MTV, right? What does the record sound like?
Yeah.
If
The
it's
cassette.
live,
Gotta go get that
interesting, right?
cassette. Yeah.
Yeah. If you were a regular Motley Crue fan, and not a musician, right? You're blown away by Guns N' Roses, but then quickly forgot about them once Motley Crue hit the stage,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because then the
Yeah.
big show starts. That's why you're there. That's why you paid the money, and you're just enjoy the heck out of the night, man. Great evening. That Girls tour was off the chain with the whole drum thing. I mean, big extravaganza, right? Now, so keep your eyes closed. Tell me, like, what happened? Motley Crue takes their final bow for the night. Night's over. You know, the encores are over. Lights go up. What's the next thing that happens? You make your way to the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, you're certainly talking about the show, like Tommy Lee, the drum thing spinning around like crazy. And or I think at that point, it wasn't spinning yet. It just went up like on that Girls tour. But so you're talking about that, and you're probably talking about Guns N' Roses and how great that show was. Now, remember, you're not a musician now. You're just a Motley Crue fan, okay, who loves music and who paid to go see that show and got blown away by this opening band that nobody's heard of called Guns N' Roses. So there you are. You're talking about how great this show was. And you got to make your way to your car, right? And if you saw shows like I saw shows in Wisconsin in an outdoor shed like Alpine Valley, you're talking, 40, 50,000 people, and in a venue that's like got one 2-lane country road in and out of the venue. So you're going to be waiting a while in your car to get home that night, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do? You get in the car, turn on the radio, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you hear? Motley Crue.
Yeah.
What didn't you hear?
Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses, right? So Guns N' Roses in 1987 did 12 dates on the Motley Crue tour. I mean, I'm trying to think about how many people that was. That's it. That's at least probably 400,000 people, 500,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
They did 16 dates opening up for the Cult on their Electric tour, which is going to be a little bit smaller, but those were arena dates still. So it's probably another 400,000 people, but way more shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Than that. 2 dates opening up for Alice Cooper in arenas. So that's another, 40, 50, 60,000 people, right? Aerosmith, they did 10 dates on the Aerosmith Permanent Vacation tour. Huge, right? All that exposure, man, amazing exposure. And all it was good for over the course of that first 8 to 12 months was 60,000 albums sold, which sounds a lot like probably every listener on our podcast would give their right arm to sell 60,000 albums, because you're looking at it through the lens of an indie artist, and that would be life-changing. But in a major label contract, that's not enough to keep your record deal. And, we've talked about this. I'm not a believer in the point of the Appetite record here. We've talked about it on the podcast. But they're going to be dropped. Why? What happened? Why did that, after all that exposure, why weren't those tours enough to break the band? They also, at this point, they had been on MTV a couple times on Headbangers Ball, which is a very niche metalhead kind of an audience late at night on Saturday thing, but they were not in rotation on MTV in any way, shape, or form at this point. And the answer to why this didn't work, I mean, did they get more exposure? Yeah. Was it enough to break the band? No. What was missing and what eventually broke the band was repetition. There was no repetition. And if we think about this, just as human beings that are trying to improve ourselves in anything, the secret to every success is repetition.
Yeah.
Brent, you want to get in better shape. What do? Reps.
I work out once. I lift a heavy thing once. Good.
Yeah. Right? It's reps. You want to be a better runner. You got to get the miles in. Reps. Right? You want to write a better song? Reps. Right? You want to have a better relationship? You need to put in the work and reps on productive communication and learn the tools of how to communicate better and then repeat them over and over and over. So it becomes, you get out of the uncomfortableness and into, wow, this just works using this tool. I like the outcome of this, right? Without reps, exposure doesn't work. Without reps, exposure doesn't last. I mean, exposure works in the sense that it gets you exposed, but exposure doesn't work in the sense that it's going to ascend your brand.
Yeah. And that's what you want. People die from exposure. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't do you any
you
good, really.
From exposure. So, I was having this conversation I've had a couple times this week, which just put this into my head. It's like, everybody in the music industry, including labels, when it comes to how they approach digital, is the game is exposure, right? They want virality, but they're ignoring reps.
Mm-hmm.
They're ignoring reps. They like, to them, virality is the win, but virality is it's a lottery ticket that can happen to anybody, okay? And God bless you if it does, but it is an absolute regular byproduct of a solid marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And this is true of these are fundamentals now. It doesn't matter what the platform is. When a label goes forth on a terrestrial radio campaign for a single on an artist, they know it's all about the reps. They're going to grind for 6 to 9 months. And when they win and they get that song on a playlist in a particular market, that song then goes into rotation. Mm-hmm. So it's being played constantly, repeatedly, over and over and over for months and months and months and months and months. And what's the byproduct of that? All of a sudden, the brand begins to grow, right? And you get virality. All of a sudden, where we come through 3 weeks into the radio campaign and we play a club for 100 people, and we come through 6 months later after being on 70 times a week for 6 months, and we're direct support in an arena. The game changes, right? Because we can sell more tickets, so we can earn that direct support slot with an artist through what? Through reps. When you look at your exposure, when you look at your marketing, when you look at your promotion through this lens, the lens of reps, and you start asking questions, it starts to get a little clearer. The muddy water starts to clear. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why are record labels, you heard me say like record labels are having problems. I mean, they're not having many problems making money off our backs as songwriters and artists, right? But why are they having problems with the big hits? Why have record labels changed their business models from being a hit-oriented machine to aggregate streaming revenue, right? Instead of having like 5 artists that are just churning out big, huge hits, we've got 30 artists now that are hitting, singles and doubles, and we're going to make the money that way. Why is that? Because the reps have changed. Mm-hmm. That's the truth. There's so few people listening to the radio now. It's just not a viable launching pad to get to break you, right? Yeah. So the reps aren't happening on radio unless you're already an artist that has broken. So how are they trying to break you? On Spotify. But even if you have 150 million streams, even if you're Dasha and you upload your indie record on a distro, God bless her, and 150, I think she's up to like 300 million streams now on that song, right? And she gets a deal, and that launches her, and her career's on her way. But you know what? Like, what are the reps on the best Spotify editorial playlist. You see the numbers of streams because you have this massive audience that have been turned on to her.
Mm-hmm.
But how long is a Spotify playlist? 60 songs? Are you hearing that song multiple times a day by accident? I mean, if you love that song and you decide to save it to a playlist, the reps change, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They become more frequent. But in the exposure process, while they're trying to get this artist's music in front of your face as many times as they can, it's extremely infrequent in a Spotify playlist. And people are falling in love with a song on a playlist and maybe not necessarily knowing who it is.
Yeah.
Or caring who it is, right? It's about the reps. So if you have the different exposure things that you want, I was having this conversation. I was talking about like getting a cover of Rolling Stone magazine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you did that, you'd be my hero, right? You're going to be on the cover.
Yeah.
But if that isn't saddled on top of some sort of repetition of exposure, it's going to be a lucky lottery ticket win.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get maybe, I don't even know if that'd be worth 20,000 streams, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And that's not going to pay anybody's bills. We had, who's the girl that you just said Wednesday wins? They got 20,000 streams, her dang self.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not going to pay anybody's bills. And then it's over. And then nobody sees you again because the reps aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if we go back to the concert thing where I started out and somebody sees you, and I'm using this as an example on a national stage, Guns N' Roses opening up for Motley Crue, huge tour. But what about you as a local indie artist opening up for the biggest local band that can put 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 people in a venue, right? Mm-hmm. Or opening up for a national that comes through town without direct support. Okay. And so you're going to play in front of, 1,000 people in a big venue because it's a club venue. You got a relationship with the club. They're going to get you in there. And all these new people that have never heard of you before are going to see you for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think too often, Brent, like artists they think, okay, now let's wait and see like how well that exposure helps me.
Mm-hmm.
But
so don't change everything.
If you're not coupling that with reps,
you got to follow up.
Yeah, you got to
follow up.
You got to pre-up and then follow up.
I mean, isn't that how it was in sales? Johnny, you've done sales and stuff, right? You got exposed to the customer first time you maybe shook a hand, made a pitch, whatever. But then what do you have to do? Most of the time, you got to follow up and follow up and follow up, or the transaction doesn't happen.
That's right.
Exposed. Hey, they might recognize you if they see you out, or they've heard your name, heard about the product.
Yeah.
They need more push to buy.
That's a great point because I'm thinking about this. Like when I first got into the electronics industry, this product that I sold was what people were calling like a walk-on water product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a zero damage soldering system. And if you've ever worked on your own guitars or your own amps and you understand how a soldering iron works, it's a wood burning tool. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
And you're putting that wood burning tool, a tool that's designed to burn stuff onto a really friggin' expensive circuit board.
Yeah.
Right. To try to make this work without frying the crap out of it. And I mean, one split second longer, it's fried. You've ruined it. Right. And you have to buy a new board. Some of those boards are, if they're little walkie-talkie boards for municipalities, those are $900 boards back in the day. If it's a freaking aerospace company, if it's a satellite, it's $1 million board.
Wow.
And you can ruin it in 2 seconds with a soldering iron, but that's the only tool we have to do this with because we got to melt this metal super fast. And this guy came out with a way to do it without touching the board. And it was zero damage, a zero damage soldering system. Doesn't that sound Like you could just stumble into any electronics manufacturing company and just put up a table and be like, how many do you need? Like the
Right.
easiest for
Just
you to
let people
sell.
know about it. That's all
Yeah.
you got to
You
do.
know how
Let
much
people know about it.
money you're gonna save by this? You will never waste another board again. Like
Right.
this system will pay for itself in 1 week
Yeah.
if you just buy. But it you know what I need to do to get people to understand what that system does? Reps, like you to your point. You know, back and back and back, demonstration, show this, show that, show people how it works. And that's for something that has a immediate monetary value.
Yeah.
And you're trying to sell art,
Right.
you know? So when it's interesting to see the industry, the music industry, and I understand that, okay, we're going to do a radio campaign. We're going to go for 6 to 9 months. It's a grind. We're never going to let up. We know this is a long game. It's a long haul. We're going to put our heads down. We're going to come up and look, and then we're going to decide if we're going to go another 3 to 6 months or try to go for another song. And then on digital, it's okay, 2 weeks. If it doesn't go viral, it's a failure.
Right.
Right. Guess what? Everybody listening to my voice right now, you think the same thing. You're like, oh, well, every time I try to do some social media and it doesn't work, so it's just not working.
Right.
You know, because I tried it once and it felt bad because I didn't make it work. Right? The repetition is the secret to advertising. It's the secret to political narratives.
I was about to say, we're in election season, and so I for sure have already been thinking about that, going, well, didn't Trump and Biden already have a debate? So why are people still running ads? Didn't everyone just kind of hear the deal from the debate?
Yeah.
Why are they still running ads?
Exactly. Why are they still running ads? How about this?
We've been exposed to both of them each of them for 4 years.
Yep.
Ruthlessly exposed to them, I might add.
We've got more than enough exposure of everybody.
They're about dying from exposure. So why are they running ads? It's not like we don't know who they are.
How about this? You know what the secret to good parenting is?
No idea, Johnny. Get more? Get more kids.
No, see, this is where you're wrong. You can't just keep trying to get a better kid, Brett. You got to work on the ones you have. You got to work on the ones you have.
That's how I was brought up. Just don't rewrite. Just write the next song.
But it's repetition, it's consistency.
Yeah.
Right? And if you had a crappy childhood, that's what you missed. Consistency. Your parents were inconsistent. They didn't put the reps in. And you suffer one way or another with that. Okay? It's reps. Guys, you know, I got to go out to my last episode was Mark Maxwell. And it just like the day that the episode dropped, that Tuesday, I got a text from Mark. He's like, hey, dude, I'm coming into town. There's a whole big NAMM thing for the next 3 days going on here, but it's not the NAMM show anymore. I found out that didn't even happen in Nashville anymore in the summer satellite thing. Doesn't work. But they want him to come down because they want to parade him around so everybody can kiss his ring because he's the dealer of the year for NAMM, and they want everybody to be like him. Nice. Dude, he's got a music store. This is Mark Maxwell from the Crashers. And, you know, they never gave up on trying to figure out a way to do social media and stuff. And so he decides to do the thing with if you're in a band, and he starts doing it consistently. He just wanted to do it for his hometown. Now it's blown up and it's international. He's got the fallout from this, brother. Like we went and had some food and a couple beers together and just got caught up and, talked about a whole bunch of stuff that he's working on now that has all been springboarded from the electricity and energy infusion and popularity infusion that's happened on account of this run that he's having with If You're in a Band sequence. There are manufacturers, like equipment manufacturers, swinging by his store, just take pictures with them.
Nice.
And he's like, why do they want to take pictures of me? Because you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Because you have a platform now.
You have created leverage, my friend. You've created leverage.
You've created leverage, and it's
Yeah.
through reps, right? Like he's up to, I don't know. I think the last tip I saw was 87. That's reps, repetition,
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You know, it's reps. Reps is the answer. And I don't. What I didn't ask Mark was like, how many pieces of content did you put out prior to the if you're in a band thing that didn't do anything?
Yeah.
Right. I was just we just doing the final post-production on it will be out by the time this episode comes out, but as we're recording this, it's going to come out tomorrow. The Tom Douglas episode.
Yes, the song title challenge. Yep.
And one of the comments he makes at the very beginning, after you go through this illustrious introduction of 3% of the accolades of Tom, because we don't have 6 weeks to tell you about it. And he's like, well, I like how you focused on my 5 good songs and you didn't talk about the 2,900 that didn't do anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Reps.
You know?
I have a quote from F.M. Alexander. This made me think of, so I looked it up while you were talking. It says, people do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits. Their habits decide their futures. And what are habits? Reps.
I love that. That's right. It's reps. It is. And you know, hey, how do you get into addiction? Reps.
Reps.
How do you overcome addiction?
Reps of saying no, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And keep repeating the same, you know. So guys, you have quality music. You're an artist. Nobody heard it. Nobody knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
The gift that you have is that you don't need anybody's permission to create the reps.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to be willing to wade through the shallow end of the gene pool of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to dare to suck.
Yeah.
In a world where, you know, hey, it's anonymous to suck on a digital platform.
It is.
When you suck, it means nobody heard it. And that's hurts you a little bit, but nobody's criticizing you because nobody knows.
It really just hurts your feelings. Someone close to me, you know, is wanting to start a podcast and do some different marketing things and trying to get, you know, analysis paralysis, what going on, trying to get it all perfect, all dialed in. I'm like, launch. Because what doesn't work, no one's going to see. No one's going to know.
Yep.
Just go. And you can
and it's not, and you're not going to come out with your first one and just it's going to blow up magically and you're going to be like and get all the validation you need to do the second podcast episode.
Right.
No, just grab a shovel and start digging that hole.
Yeah.
And you'll know when it gets big enough, you know, like, you know, that's it. So guys, that's what I you know, short and sweet today, man. It's reps. Like you have to put consistent content out there. And then every time you are blessed with a bigger exposure opportunity, it's going to be worth so much more when it's saddled on reps. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, my whole point of talking about Guns N' Roses is all those tours weren't enough to break the band because there was no repetition happening underneath that exposure.
Yeah.
So more people knew about them, but I forgot about them within hours after seeing them for the first time because they're not reminded that by being on the radio. They're not reminded by being on MTV. And so, of course, they're not getting a whole lot of press. And if they're not getting a whole lot of press, the press they did get isn't going to catch your eye. Like, oh, Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I just heard that song. Like, you know, it's not driving a lot of traffic to that piece of that space in that magazine or whatever it is. So, you know, with good managers and stuff, they're talking about, you know, getting those 3 things to happen in like a 2-week period, right? Where you're getting heavy rotation in a market, you're getting an article in Rolling Stone about the band, and you're on David Letterman. Or
it's the Ken Cragen thing of the three things to hit you up to a new plateau, to level you up. Yes. Exactly.
So when you start, again, looking through the reps lens and you're like, okay, what do my reps look like?
Yeah.
For exposure. Okay. And then you start thinking about different things like, wow, okay, well, okay, if I'm doing a regular like social media thing where I'm pushing out content constantly and I'm
Mm-hmm.
getting reps there. And let's say, hey, we got a big show coming up. What can we do? Man, it's remarkably inexpensive in terms of what you think it might be for a digital billboard in a major metropolitan area.
Mm-hmm.
Before digital billboards, you got to buy that billboard for a month.
Yeah.
It's like 50 grand, cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Right. But for 2,500, you can be on for 8 seconds over the course of a month repeatedly.
Yeah.
During the drive at 5 and the drive into work, the morning drive, and advertising a show, right? So you're in the feed. I'm up on a billboard. There's a second rep. You can create microcosms of this for what amounts to be not a lot of money. Okay, but looking at it through like how many more places can I be seen and heard, and how about this collabs, right? Like we're talking with Mackenzie was in town this week writing Mackenzie, and that's one of the things we were talking about. She's gonna we're shopping for some new producers for her now. It's time to take another step for her, and she's really, I think, kind of come into her own as an artist, and now she wants a little bit more control in the studio and a little bit more of a sandbox to play in, right?
Cool.
And so we're going to talk to Skip Black, see if he's in. I just got off the phone with Brett Boyette, and he's like, I would love to talk with her. Let's see what's going on, from the Nashville villains. And I'm going to lay this on Dave Brainerd as well, and just have her see who's the right artistic pair of pants. But these are 3 guys I know that can do all this in the studio and play and really put something very, very unique together for her. And the other thing, part of that conversation was exercising the relationships that those producers have with other artists for her to do collabs on, right? I was thinking about this last night in terms of reps. If we look at the way they're promoting Lainey Wilson through the reps lens, is there another artist that you can think of that's done more frickin' duets or collaborations than Lainey Wilson?
Maybe Jelly Roll, right?
Maybe Jelly Roll.
And they've worked together. But the thing is, they're both everywhere.
They're everywhere. I mean, with every other artist, it's like she'll say no to nobody. If they're on a national platform, I'll do a collab with you. So now go back to think about how I talked about one song in the biggest Spotify playlist. So 1 out of 60.
Yeah.
But then you're Lainey Wilson. I'm also got a collab with Jelly Roll. That's 2 out of 60.
Yeah.
And then I've also got a collab with Winona. That's 3 out of 60. And then I've got, and all of a sudden it's like 5 or 6 songs got in the same playlist. Lainey Wilson's on it.
Yeah.
Reps, man. Reps. Like they are really doing a brilliant job with her on doing that. And so that's what I want to encourage you guys to do. Look at this through the lens of how many repetitions are we getting? How can I improve this? Where can I improve this? And that is where you're going to see a change, where you're going to see people start to be like, oh yeah, I've heard of you. I like your band. What's going, and isn't that what you want as an artist? And then people are really going to give you a listen. And, once the music industry puts this lens on, I think for all intents and purposes, this can bring back the big summer hit.
Yeah.
This can bring back the kind of songs that it won't be so consumable here and gone later today. I just one final thought. I mean, I had Steve O'Brien was writing with Mackenzie, and we had a conversation earlier this week, and he was talking about how he's like now like the way it's being consumed, like he's getting used to that, right? Like this new artist came out with this album. I listened to the whole album, and he goes, "It was great, man. It was a great album." And you know what? Now I'm good. I'm on to the next thing. Yeah, and he doesn't want to hear it anymore, and that's only because of the way it's being marketed. It's
Mhm.
not constantly being put in front of his face.
Yeah.
There's no reps on that.
Man, I was thinking about that earlier this episode, going, oh, yeah, there's that new or the newest Ashley McBryde record, which I'm an Ashley McBryde fan, go Arkansas, but also she's just great. And it's like, oh, yeah, I really like that record. That, the latest one. Oh, when was the last time I listened to that?
Yeah.
Well, it lives out in the cloud. It's in streaming somewhere. It's probably saved to a playlist. But part of it is just my stage of life. And I'm making music, and I got friends' music, and all this stuff. But the other thing is, it's just so ethereal. I don't have a CD sitting in my truck or my car or a cassette tape, in the tower next to my desk or whatever. I don't have that physical reminder of it. So if it's not getting thrown at me or in different playlists or other places I go, like, I want to hear it again. Oh yeah. And because it's good, and there are many artists like that. I'm talking about exposure versus like repetition. A couple of things. Like, I remember one of the first times, so I was in college in the 90s, and one of the first times I saw Mr. Jones, the video by Counting Crows. I was like, who is this doofus? He's bouncing around with this, and I was like, I'm like, no, I'm not feeling that. And eventually I was then Round Here came out. I was like, oh. I ended up buying the record and just wore that out. It's one of my favorite all-time records, just killer. It's Counting Crows, August and Everything After. It's one of my all-time records. But it took a while to do that. Same thing with Eric Church. I'm thinking back to, before he broke, I went to this local show. It was a fundraiser for a guy, a co-writer of mine, his family health stuff. They were doing a fundraiser. A bunch of people came out and were playing songs and stuff, Cover at the Door, whatever. And I'm pretty darn sure Eric Church was one of the people that got up and did like a song or two. It was like at Judge Bean's Barbecue, I think, over on Wedgwood. And so this is a while back. But I'm pretty sure he's one of the guys before his record came out. But later I was like, I think he was. So I got exposed to Eric Church. But it wasn't until later I was like, dude, he's great.
Yeah.
And I had to listen to that first record several times. Like, I like some of it, but it just took a while for it to click and go, okay, I get it. I get it now. And I'm a fan. But it's like, I was exposed to him.
Yeah.
He played at the thing, with guitar and him. It's Eric Church. Didn't stick. I wasn't afterwards going, who is it? Who, there have been times when you see somebody like that and you're like, whoa, what's going on? But it takes reps.
So fast. Like the August and Everything After example is like really good. Like the first song, you're kind of like, You weren't even really turned on by the music video.
I was not.
Like it didn't blow you away.
No.
But then the second song, but through the repetition of that you didn't even necessarily like.
No, I didn't.
That you did not respond in the most positive way to. Let's say that.
Yes. No, I was not into it. I was like, no.
Second song comes out, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then you went and bought the record.
And then, but also I started warming up to Mr. Jones because it was MTV. I didn't have a lot of options for my TV music viewing college days. It was that or CMT, and I was hitting some CMT pretty hard back in the day too. But that was like, it started growing on me. It was like, all right, yeah, it's all right. And then the next one came out. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go.
And then you bought.
Then I bought
the record.
And then listened to the whole record so many times.
See, and would you, I mean, who knows if they would have swapped the singles, right? Would that have happened sooner for you or no? I don't know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Was it about the song or was it about the reps?
Yeah.
Or both? It's about the reps too.
Yeah.
So you have to constantly be out there, and it's content. You guys, you have to find a way to put the content out there on a regular basis and create the reps, or every other piece of exposure that you get is not going to break you.
Mm-hmm.
Even if break, like you go from being who the hell are you in your hometown to being able to put 2,500 people in your hometown in a theater, knowing you can always make money in your hometown because they're there, they love you, and they know exactly who you are. You know what I mean? Through reps. And so that's it. You've really got to put that reps lens on.
I'm living this right now. So our new daughter, Daisy. So she's not good with strangers, and definitely not good with strange men. And so, like, she is still slowly warming up to Dad, slowly warming up to me. And
Ever
so,
so slow.
so slowly. And, she would just kind of hide her hands, put her hands over her face, or she'd do the ostrich swing, butt in the air and forehead on the ground when I'd look at her come by or whatever. And she warmed up to Emily because Emily's awesome and the mom thing. And so we just like pushed more reps on Emily at the beginning going, because you're the main caregiver, we got to make sure she bonds with somebody before we get on that airplane. But still, man, with me, she's bonded with her sisters better because they're more her size and girls and whatever. But she's still, it's going to take a lot of reps to get her to open up to this new guy. Doesn't matter that I'm her dad now, right? Doesn't matter. She don't care. Like, who are you? And what's with all this facial stuff going on? This whole hair thing? I don't know what's going on here, and I don't trust you yet. And it's going to take reps of being there and being okay and being smiling, play with her. And, and it's going to take reps. And she's going to warm up to me. She's going to love me like crazy. And I'm going to get good snuggles. But we ain't there yet. But but I'm putting in the reps, baby.
It's such a great example. So there it is, guys. That's the thing, man. If you're not doing reps, it doesn't matter what comes down the pike, what lottery ticket you win in terms of exposure. It's not going to do it, And if you are doing reps, even the littlest pieces of exposure are going to be, 10x the power that they have because everybody's familiar with the name. They've seen you, they've experienced you multiple times before, somewhere, somehow, and that's what they're doing. And so it really is about that, and that is what terrestrial radio is all about. Heavy rotation, reps, man. 70 spins a week during peak hours, guys. Do the math. That's every 60 to 90 minutes, depending on what the radio station considers their peak hours. So that's repetition. And I'm not saying you got to do 3 pieces of content a day, but you need to be doing a lot of content. 3 a week, very bare minimum, 5 a week, once a day. Have that music attached to it, and go for it. And your world will change. That's all I gotta say about that.
Love it.
Yep. So, all right, guys, man, that brings us to the end of another Killer Climb episode. As a thank you for listening all the way through, I got a gift for you. It's a free PDF download that sort of gives you the difference between broadcast and digital. You got to learn how to honor the platform digitally so that you're packaging stuff up the right way, presenting it the right way. When you honor the platform, the needle will move. If you're trying to pretend it's a broadcast platform, you're going to continue to be frustrated. This will answer a lot of those questions. It's a stout PDF. It's, I think, 36 or 38 pages. I haven't seen it in a while, but there's some great information in there that will just really clarify in your mind how it's consumed so that you start asking the right questions. Just go to Gift from Johnny, JOHNNY, giftfromjohnny.com, and tell me where to send it, guys. This podcast exists because we want you to win, so keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top again.